Hi folks, hope you're all good. I'm just having the exciting experience of making a video in my car for the first time, or making an opinion video. I may have made some sort of video in my car before with the kids and the family or whatever, but yeah, first sort of vlog type thing in the car. Today I want to talk about consciousness, and I will argue that the physical world can't really exist as we think it does. So, oh, forgive me if there's some traffic noise or something. I'm by a busy road. I've never done this before. I don't know if it will be noisy or what. Okay, so my roughly my argument I'd like to lay out here is that consciousness doesn't seem to be a physical thing, and the brain is a physical thing. So how can the physical thing that is the brain detect a non-physical thing, which is consciousness? It doesn't make sense. And yet consciousness definitely exists. We can't really doubt that. Therefore, the physical world can't exist. Don't necessarily believe the conclusion, because there's another major piece of evidence, I think, for the physical world existing, which is that my life is exactly like a physical, the life of a physical being. It's everything's causality seems to follow like we're in a physical situation. If I was about to fall to my death, I'd think that I'd be pretty sure my consciousness was about to end too with my physical body. I'm a believer in the physical, really, certainly for all practical purposes, but also I think that there is a huge weight of evidence here that the physical world exists, and yet I do doubt it because of this argument I'm proposing here. So let me go through my argument in a little bit more detail. So first step is I'm asserting that there is consciousness, that we are conscious, and that we can't deny that. I think I've heard it said, I think Daniel Dennett, the philosopher, I think someone I know has also kind of said that, doubted that we really are conscious. We're thinking maybe we're fooling ourselves or something, that we're conscious. But it seems to me that I'm having this first person experience. That's really happening. I cannot doubt that. It's really happening. If I was kidding myself that I was conscious, I would just be a machine, a philosophical zombie, as they call it. I would just be a machine having this belief that, having the belief that I am conscious falsely, but not really having the consciousness. But I'm not just a machine that's having this belief that I'm conscious. I am really conscious. Maybe I'm confused about that, but anyway, that seems pretty solid to me. Second step in my argument that I just made is that the consciousness, this would be more controversial, I think, consciousness is not a physical thing, or not entirely a physical thing. This seems, maybe a bit more shaky, but I don't know, I think there's something in this. I think I can kind of prove it by saying, if you try to describe consciousness by telling just a physical story, you can't actually describe it in purely physical terms. So that does seem to suggest that it's not a physical thing. There's something else. You can't describe it purely as a physical thing because it isn't a purely physical thing. So I can say stuff like, oh, information goes in through your eyes, it comes together, it makes a personality, we have empathy and all that, and all the circuits in my brain, or the synapses, or the what are they called? The brain, the neurons, that's right. The neurons, make this record like empathy, they record your memories. You can tell a physical story, but you never actually say the consciousness. Unless you kind of add it on as like, and it's conscious, and it gets a first person experience from that. But you're adding a bit there. I think you can't describe it as purely physical, and that seems to suggest it's not a physical thing, which is weird because everything we know is physical, but consciousness does seem to be an exception to that. So the last step seems more straightforward, I think, more sure again, is that a physical system can't detect a non-physical thing. So philosophers and people are writing books about consciousness. I'm reporting it to you in a video now. The physical brain seems to be getting this message that we are conscious. How can it get a message from a non-physical thing? How can a physical system pick up a non-physical message? It can't. I mean, a radio can only pick up waves because they are physical, and they can they can move the electrons or whatever. They can eventually move the particles. A non-physical thing. It doesn't move. It doesn't solid. Don't see how we can report consciousness if it's not a physical thing, and it doesn't seem to be a physical thing. So, I think I've just summarized my argument there. I hope you find it interesting. All the best.